Very good evening to all dear learners. How are you everyone? I hope you all are safe and fine at your places, and I must believe that really the learning process is going on well. So students, I hope great learning process is going on. So students, today we are going to begin with a new topic and the norms according which we need to govern it. The name of the topic is bones and its classification. In this session, you will be able to learn all about the bones and its classification. Students, before this session, we have already discovered about the structure of the bones. We have met Mr. Boney, the skeleton system, right? So, welcome to the physical education class. Welcome in the ocean of physical education. This is part 5. Alright. And the name of our chapter is Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology. So let's begin with the session. Our first topic is bones and its classification. Student, what bone is exactly? Bone give our body a kind of shape. Bone is the storehouse for the calcium. Bone is very important part of our body as it holds, protects our internal organs. We have 206 bones. Bones is specifically classified into two parts. That is the axial skeletal system and appendicular skeletal system. Right, dear students? We all know this thing. Now, the next thing that we need to go is again a very important topic, and this topic has to be covered, and one has to understand about this topic in depth. Right? Bones and its classification is really a very important topic, and we should know it about so that we could know about our body. We will be able to learn so many things that are really important for us. So for this, I want Mr. Boney to be with us. Right, students? So let's bring Mr. Boney with us. Okay? I'm going to begin just taking Mr. Boney with us so that the learning process will be very, okay? So just give me 1 minute. I'm just quickly going to bring Mr. Boney with us. And now, yes, Mr. Boney is here with us, right? Let me just open it up. Okay, alright. So now whenever I will have to teach something, I will show you from here. So it becomes good for both of us. Right? Mr. Boney. As we all know, students, we have 206 bones in our body. Out of this 206 bones, if we talk about a single bone, right? So if I will talk about the single bone, let me just take a single bone. I'm just going to check out, like if I'm going to take out the femur bone, right? Right now, I have this femur bone, right? These bones, any bone if we talk about, so we have head, we have shaft, and we have tail region. Each and every bone has head, shaft, and tail region. What are three things? Head, shaft, and tail region. So I just show you this bone that is the none of this, but yes, our bone that is the femur bone, right? Femur bone is the longest bone in the body, and it's the present in the thigh. So the thing that we are going to discuss, that we are discussing right now, is about the femur bone and steps. These are the two bones which are really very famous. Now, how these bones are really famous? Because the longest bone is called femur bone, and the shortest bone is called the steps. Steps is that bone which is present in the ear. So the smallest bone is the steps, and the longest bone is the femur. I just show you, students, this is the longest bone, right? I'm again going to show you this one so that the learning process could be going well, right? I'm just opening up this bone, right? So this bone is the femur bone, and it is the longest bone. If you can see this one diagram, right, here, students? So this diagram shows the patella. This is the knee joint. Alright, these are the carcels, metatarsals, right? So this is about what, students? This is about totally the bones of our body, right? I hope you like it. Okay, so we have discussed so many things. Like first thing we have discussed, this is our body consists of 206 bones. We also know that our body has, the skeletal system has things. Two things is axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton system, right? Now bones are the hardest connective tissue. Okay, students, if we talk about any of the bone, skull region, buccal cavity, the rib cage, any of it, if we are going to talk about these body system, these bones are the hardest connective tissue. These are the storehouse of calcium, right? These give shape to our body. If you can see this, okay, we have in this buccal cavity, our tongue is there, right? It protects. Now, if you can see the skull, it protects the brain. If you can see this eye, it will protect our eyes. So this body structure, this bone and all, these are help us to protect our internal organs as well and give shape to our body. So students, what I am telling you is that when we discuss about bones and its classification, so basically students, what we need to keep in mind is that bones are the hardest connective tissue. Very first thing. The very first thing that we need to keep in mind is bones are the hardest connective tissue. And we got it that yes, bones are the hardest connective tissue. Now the second most thing that we need to know is these bones consist of matrix. What will be there? Our bones will have matrix. Matrix is a liquid. Now these, generally if you talk about the long bones like if you can see the hand bone, right? This is the hand bone. Again, it's a little bit long. If we talk about the femur bone, which is the longest bone, you can see here this femur bone, right? We need to take care of it, otherwise it will fall down and toot jayega, right? So these bones, generally the long bones are hollow, coaky. Long bones are generally hollow. These bones consist of matrix. What does this bones consist of? Bones consist of matrix. Sometimes synovial fluid also. So matrix, after what does this matrix has? These matrix has some canals. What does it? This bones have? This bones has canals. Which kind of canals? Harvestial canals. Harvestial canals, right? Now, matrix is made up of lamella. What does it made up of? It is made up of lamella. Matrix is made up of lamella, and these lamella is enriched with blood. This lamella enriched with the blood vessels, the blood supply, etc. Right, students, so let's recapitulate it. What I am telling you is that matrix are generally, if you talk about the long bones, right? Long bones are generally hollow. Matrix has Haversian canals. These canals have, if you talk about the layers, so the layers has the lamella. That means matrix is made up of lamella, and lamella is very rich in blood supply. Right? Cartilage, if we are going to talk about, so students, we need to keep one thing in our mind when we talk about cartilage. Cartilage are the hard, elastic connective tissue, right? So if we talk about our facial bones, so here, students, our ear, our nose, we have this cartilaginous bones, right? It means cartilage. So cartilage are what? Cartilage are the kind of bones, cartilaginous bones, right? So ear, okay, nose, these are cartilaginous bones, right? So students, we get to know here is cartilages are the hardest cartilages are the hardest elastic. Got it? Okay, students, next thing that we need to keep in our mind is about the presence of chondrin, right? Cartilage what does cartilage has? Cartilages has chondrin. So students, from where we had started from, we started our thing from, if we're going to talk about is that the cartilage has hard elastic connective tissue, okay, due to the presence of protein and inorganic salt, right? Cartilage are the hardest elastic tissue, and if we talk about cartilage basically, so it is due to the presence of chondrin, protein and some inorganic salt. So students, now we're going to recapitulate it, what we are going to study and what we had started right now. Okay, so let's study. What I just wanted to tell you students is that it's basically I want to tell you students about the yes, we have it means our body has 206 bones. Is that clear? After this 206 bones, our body has head, shaft and tail. We have two special bones, like the one is the longest bone, and the second one which is the shortest bone. The longest bone is femur, which is present in the thigh, and the smallest bone which is present in the ear, and it is steps. Bones are hardest connective tissue. What bones are exactly? Bones are the hardest connective tissue, right? And bones are generally made up of calcium. There's a storehouse of calcium. It provides structure to our body, right, dear students? So next thing that I'm going to tell you here is about the metrics. See, if we talk about the long bones, so long bones has generally hollow, right, dear students? Long bones are generally hollow. And the next thing is that I want to tell you students is that metrics are made up of lamella. What does metrics made up of? Metrics are made up of lamella, and these lamella is enriched with blood vessels. These lamella are enriched with blood vessels. Next thing is due to the if we talk about the cartilages. Cartilage, it means what? Cartilage are something. It means it is totally related to the nose and ears. Our body which having ears, our body having nose, right? So these are cartilages. These cartilages have some connective tissues. These are elastic connective tissues. These are also cartilaginous bones, but these are the elastic bones, right? Due to the presence of chondrine. Why they are elastic? Why they are called this kind of bones? I called it this type of bones because there is the presence of chondrine protein and some inorganic salt. Okay, so chondrine protein and some inorganic salt, that's why we called it that, right, dear students? Now let's come and we're going to talk about the next thing, that is the is based on the cartilage and its types, and we're going to deal with these things. Okay students, so let's have a talk about it, this cartilages, right? So basically we are going to talk about cartilages are of three types, right? Students, cartilage is basically present in our nose, our ears. These are the cartilaginous bones. These are the three types. This is type number 1, this is type number 2, and this is type number 3. Type number 1 is haline cartilages. Type number 2 is fibrous cartilages. And type number 3 is calcified cartilages. Cartilages are of three types. The first type is haline cartilage, fibrous cartilage and calcified cartilage. These are the three types of cartilage that we need to keep in mind, which are they are really having a very important part while we doing study in depth. Okay students, so whenever we talk about what is cartilage, so cartilage are the hard but elastic connective tissue which are generally present in eyesight region, nose, ears, etc. If we want to talk about the cartilages, it means types of cartilages, right? Types of cartilages. So there are three types of cartilages. First is the haline cartilage, second is the fibrous cartilage, and third is the calcified cartilage. These are basically three types of cartilage. Now students, we are going to talk about the various bones. So students, I wanted you guys to be precautionary and take precautionary measures while understanding anything, because these students, when you learn things, sometimes student may be terrified with this bony structure, and Mr. Bony is very dangerous if you are a common student, right? So let us learn the various types of bones. First bone that I am going to tell you is cartilaginous bones. What is the name of first bone? First bone, the first type of bones are cartilaginous bones. Student, cartilaginous bones are those bones which are elastic in nature, and these bones are present in ear and nose, right? Which region? Ear and nose region. Here you can see here this is a bone, but now onwards there is a cartilages. So the bones which are called cartilaginous bones, which are elastic in nature, that bones we call cartilaginous bones. And cartilaginous bones are present in the nose region and ear region. Now let's come on the second type of bones. The second type of bones are long bones. What are the second type of bones? Long bones. Where are these long bones are present? These long bones are present like femur, thigh region and humer. So which is the femur bone I am going to tell you. It's so easy. We have Mr. Boni and I can tell you everything just because of Mr. Boni. So I am just taking out Mr. Boni's leg. You can see this is the femur bone, longest bone, femur bone and humer bone, right? So this is what? Very nice. This is the femur bone, a longest bone in the human body. Mr. Boni is very helpful for us. This is the pelvic region, these are the rib cages and all, shoulder region, right? So this is what we had studied about the long bones. First type was cartilaginous bone, second type was long bone, and third type is now short bones. When I am talking about the short bones, it means I am talking about the bones steps and flanges. Now students, see what I am going to tell you. The very important thing is steps is the very smallest bone which is present in both of our ears. Second thing, flanges. So if you know this, we have flanges. These are flanges, right? This point is also clear. Now let's move forward with the next point. Next point is the flat bones. Okay. So what is the flat bones? Flat bones like sternum, flat bones like scapula. Right, students? So first thing that we have discovered right now is cartilaginous bones, which are elastic in nature. Second thing that we have covered is about the students the long bone. These long bones are present generally. These long bones are femur bone and gyrus bone, right? So students, this is about what I was telling you that humer and femur bones that I have shown you also. When I am talking about short bones, the short bones like steps, flanges, etc. Now the next term is of the flat bone. So flat bone consists of what? Scapula, right, and sternum. Sternum and scapula. We have two flat bones in our body, right? Flat bones are two, and what are the names that? The names are sternum and scapula. What are the two names? Remember students, sternum and scapula. Now I am going to show you where is sternum and where is scapula. See students. Sternum I am going to show you. These are sternums. See. When you want to say scapula, sternum, so sternum, scapula, you can see this. So generally all the flat bones. Flat bones are, this, I'm giving you an example as sternum and scapula. So that was scapula, that was sternum. The previous one was the scapula. Irregular bones. Student, those bones which are not regular, which are irregular in shape, those bones we called what? These kinds of bones, we call them into what? We call this kind of bones to the C. If you can see this, I'm just going to tilt my Mr. And I just wanted to tell you students that whenever we talk about the flat bones or irregular bones, I can show you. What I can show you is that, as you can see Mr. Boni, the vertebral columns are what? The vertebral columns are irregular bones, right? Skull is also irregular, okay? So vertebral columns and skull, these are the irregular bones. What are these? These are the irregular bones, okay students? So sesamoid bones, if we talk about, sesamoid bones are patella. So where is the patella region? The patella bone, if we talk about, patella bones are the which bones? These are the knee joints. Okay. So I am telling you students is that we have different kinds of bones in our body, and these bones have so many terms to understand. Right, students? So I'm again telling you what is that we were just discussing about this. These are the vertebral columns. These are the irregular bones. In the same, if we talk about okay, Mr. Boni. Skull region. This skull region is also comes under the irregular bones. Next one is sesamoid bone, that is the patella region. So if you can see this is the femur bone, and out of this femur bone, this is the patella bone, right? So I can hang it out, मैं निकाल सकता हूँ इसे and I can show you properly. देखो बच्चों, see, this is the patella bone. Patella bone. This is the patella bone. Okay. This is the long bone. This is the sesamoid bone. Okay. Let's put it again to the particular place. Okay, fine. So students, what we had done, we had started with that our body has 206 bones. The bones consist of head, shaft and tail. Next thing that we cover is the longest bone is the femur bone and the shortest bone is the steps bone. Bones are the hardest connective tissue. These bones consist of matrix. Generally, the long bones are hollow. Matrix consists of Haversian canals and matrix made up of lamella. These lamella is rich with blood supply. Cartilages are hard, elastic tissue. These cartilages present in the ear region, present in the nose region. Why they are so elastic? They are elastic just because the presence of chondrine protein and some inorganic salts. Now the next thing, the types of cartilages. There are three types of cartilages. There is the haline cartilages, fibrous cartilages and the calcified cartilages. Next thing to know about the different types of bones. The first type of bones are cartilaginous bones. So the cartilages like ear and nose region, these are cartilaginous bones. Bones present in the thigh like humor and femur bone, these are the long bone. Shortest bone or short bones like steps, flancus and region. Flat bone like sternum and scapula. This back region, if you can see, this back region is sternum and scapula. No guys, chest region in front of the side of rib cage. Irregular bones, if you talk about, it's a vertebral column. Skull are the irregular bone. If you talk about the sesamoid bone, the best example is patella. What is the best example of sesamoid? The best example of sesamoid bones are patella. Got it, students? Now let's come on the next topic, that are joints. So what is joint exactly we need to know first. Joint is what? See students, joint is the very first thing that I am going to deliver here is, I want to shift Mr. Boni first so that we can learn these things, next things, right? So I just wanted to tilt him with me, okay, so that at least we can see. Yeah, okay, fine. So yes, students see, now we are going to discuss about joints and its type. Joints is what? The place where two bones meet together, right? Place where two bones meet together are called joints, right? So students, joints are, and its type we will discover today. So students see, we have this shoulder region, we have thigh region, so many things. So now let's come and let's talk about the joints. First kind of joint is immovable joint. Immovable joints are also called fibrous joint. Immovable, it means they are fixed. We are not able to unfix it. We are not able to rotate it. We are not able to, they are fixed exactly. So we can't move it. Immovable joint like skull joint. So if you are going to talk this region, if you can see Mr. Boni, this skull region, brain wala jo region, this skull region is called the immovable joint. So immovable joint, or we call fibrous joint, this joint consists of skull. So whenever someone asks you, bache, what are the first kind name of the joint? There are three basically types of joints. First is the movable joint, slightly movable joints and freely movable joints. Very first thing is the immovable joint. Immovable joints, which are also called fibrous joint, they are fixed at the particular place and we can't move it. Example of immovable joints are brain. It means the skull region. So which bone? Skull. This whole skull is consists of the immovable bones or immovable joint. Next is slightly movable joints. Whenever we talk about this slightly movable joint, we talk about cartilaginous bones. Which bones we talk about? We talk about the cartilaginous bones. These cartilaginous bones are generally present in the invertebrations. This is generally present in the ear region. These bones are generally present in the nose region. Students, I hope this first part is clear with everyone that immovable joints are, they are generally fibrous and they are fixed. These bones, these joints are example of skull. Got it? Next is slightly movable joint. It means they are slightly movable. These joints are also called cartilaginous joints. They are in invertebrations. Example present in ear and nose. That's it. Next, third type of joint is freely movable joint. And when we talk about freely movable joints, we should focus upon the movement. If they are freely movable joint, it means they can easily move. Okay, these joints are easily moved. That is why we called it freely movable joints. So freely movable joints, they are able to move up to some extent. They cover with the thin membrane. It is covered by the thin membrane filled with the synovial fluid. So these bones, these joints are filled with synovial fluid. Now I am going to tell you students, you many times you heard that what happened is that in this bones, right? If you are talking about this, right? This is the femur joint, this is the knee joint. Okay? Now in between these two, okay? What we have, student, we have a synovial fluid here. This is the knee joint. Which joint it is? It is a knee joint. Knee joint, we have, here we have synovial fluid. So I am going to tell you the diagram also which is present on the board. So just put it in portrait. So this knee joint really works well. So this, if I am showing you the knee joint, here is the synovial fluid. The inner layer is called a fibrous articulation. We have again the bone and the ligament. The outer side is the ligament, right dear students? So we have three types of joints. Telling you again students, let's recap it once again. Immovable joint is also called fibrous joint. We are not able to move it. They are fixed at a particular place. Example, skull. What is the example of immovable joint? Skull. Very easy. Slightly movable joint. Slightly movable joints are those joints which, example, cartilaginous, invertebration. So easy. Next thing is freely movable joint. Slightly movable joint, if you talk about, it means cartilage like nose, ears, and etc. We all know this. Freely movable joints, it means those joints which are moved up to some extent. Example, the knee joint. Okay, the knee joint, the gutno joint, that is the freely movable joint. And I can show you this diagram, which consists of fibrous articulation, which consists of synovial fluid, which consists of ligament, which consists of bones. A student, you must aware in this present scenario, generally the peoples are facing so many problems, like your aged peoples of your home, they are generally having problems regarding their what? They are generally having a problem regarding the pain over the knee joint. Why these things are occurring? Because see students, whenever they walk, whenever they run, whenever they do some activity, this just because of the lack of the synovial fluid, they have some problems. They receive some problems and that are very, very painful for them. They feel a great extent of pain in them. So that is why in physical education it has become very, very important for us to know about our body, to understand things properly, right? That is why we are here with Mr. Moni to explain everything about today. Okay students? Now see, I am going to deliver you the next topic, that are I was telling you about the types also. Okay, now we'll be talking about what is ball and socket joint, what is hinge joint, what is pivot joint, and so many things with the help of Mr. Modi, right? I hope you love this session, students, right? So let's come and learn about the ball and socket joint. Now students, see, there is a ball and there is a socket. Ball and socket joint, what exactly it means? Whenever we talk about ball and socket joint, we need to talk about the shoulder joint. Can you see this shoulder joint? This is ball and socket joint. This joint is ball and socket joint. So here we have cleared that the shoulder joint is also called ball and socket joint. So how do you keep it in mind? Ball and socket. Can you see this bone? It looks like this head, look like the bone, this ball. So ball and let's suppose it is a socket. So it's become ball and socket joint. So easy to grasp it. Whenever you mix your thoughts with some examples, it becomes so easy for you to remember things. It becomes so easy for you to grasp it. Right, dear students? So shoulder joint is also called ball and socket joint. First thing is clear. Ball and socket joint is also called shoulder joint. Very good. Hinge joint. Hinge joint is also called elbow joint. So I can show you the elbow. I can just remove it. I just wanted to remove the elbow. Let me just give a minute so that I can remove it. It becomes so easy for us to go for it. Right, dear students? It is so easy. You can see from here. This is Mr. Boni. Let's see his face also. This is the hand. Okay, students. This is the hand. Now I'm going to tell you, Mr. Boni, where is it here and there? Okay, fine. So as you can see, Mr. Boni, this is the ball and socket joint, and this is the hinge joint, the elbow joint. Okay, the joint by which we can, I can do it like this. In the same way, Mr. Boni can also do. He can stand you high. Okay, so this joint is the hinge joint. Elbow joint is also called hinge joint. Got it this point? Okay, so we have clear two things. Ball and socket joint, it means shoulder joint. Elbow joint, it means hinge joint. This much part is clear. Now we can make Mr. Boni to stand properly. Next thing. We have cleared ball and socket joint, we have cleared hinge joint. Now we are going to talk about the third type of joint, that is the pivot joint. Pivot joint is the hinge joint. What is the next joint? Pivot joint. Now see students, as I can show you, let me just put it proper. This joint, this neck joint, right? This neck joint is what? The pivot joint. Which joint? Pivot joint. Now it is a skull, it is made up of some wires and all and the calcified bones. So that is why I can rotate it fully. Okay? So the bone, the joint which is in the neck, okay? We generally, if you studied about the, students about the digestive system or the alimentary canal of a human body. So you may have, whenever you learn respiratory system, you learn about the respiratory, the alimentary canal, the elastic, cartilaginous things, right? So students, this is about the buccal cavity, and if we talk about the neck joint, there is the pivot joint. Pivot joint is present in the neck region. Which region, student? Pivot joint is generally present in the neck region. So again, we should recapitulate it here. First we have covered, that is the ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joint are present in the shoulder region. Which region, student? Shoulder region. Second joint that we have already covered, that is the hinge joint. And hinge joint is present in the pivot, in the elbow joint. Pivot joint we talk about, which is present in the neck region. Next is idle joint, which is tarsals or carpuscles. If we talk about the carpuscles, see students, we have carpuscles in the leg region, we have carpuscles in the hand region. So tarsals, metatarsals, carpuscles, metacarpuscles, flanges, etc. This hand region, joint of the hand. Right, students? So now we are going to recapitulate about that. This was the 4 basic joint. Saddle joint. What is saddle joint? The joint of our thumb. Let's do it. Do it in my video, in front of my video. Do it. Saddle joint. I'm going to show you. Okay, students. So these are 4 fingers. These are 4 fingers, and this is the thumb. As you can see, this right now. So this becomes the thumb. But right now, if I should stand here, it will become my thumb. In this region, the thumb region has the saddle joint. Let's recapitulate. Very first thing, that is the ball and socket joint. So ball and socket joint is in the shoulder region. Students. Very good. Next thing is hinge joint. So hinge joint is in the elbow. Where is the hinge joint? Hinge joint is in the elbow. You can see the elbow. This elbow region has the hinge joint. Next joint, if we will talk about, is pivot joint, which is present in the neck region. Griddle joint, which is the carpuscles. Okay, carpuscles. Saddle joint, which is present in the thumb. Then let's move. Let's come backward, and we have done with the joints. Movable joints, immovable joints, and slightly movable joints. Immovable joints, example, these are first thing, these are also called fibrous joint. Example is skull joint, which is here. Okay, students. Next is slightly movable joint. The examples are cartilages. Freely movable joint. The example is the knee. What is the example? The example is knee. Okay, students, got it. Now let's come. We should say bye bye to Mr. Boni. I just wanted him to shift a little bit that side so that we can cover further revision. Okay, so let's come. We have 206 bones. This bone consists of head, shaft, and tail. This bone consists of the biggest bone is femur and the smallest bone is steps. The bones are the matrix, some long bones are hollow. This matrix consists of hydroxyl canal and matrix are made up of lamella. These lamella are rich in blood supply. Cartilages are the hard but elastic connective tissue. This is due to the presence of chondroid protein and some inorganic solid. If we talk about the types of cartilage, these are three types: hairline cartilage, fibrous and calcified. Hairline cartilage, fibrous cartilage and calcified cartilage. Bones. So if we talk about the bones, we have cartilaginous bones, we have long bones like femur and humer, we have short bones like stap and phalanges, we have flat bones like sternum and scapula, we have irregular bones like vertebral bones and skull, we have sesamoid bones like patella. Patella means we are talking about the knee joint. Okay students, let's talk about the next thing that we should cover. Okay, the next thing is immovable joint. It means joints in its type. Joints is the place where the two bones meet together. Immovable joint, which are called fibrous bone, fibrous joints, and example skull. Slightly movable joints, it means these are cartilaginous bones which are slightly moved up to some extent. Freely movable joint, example this having the synovial fluid, and example the patella region, the knee joint. Next, if you're going to talk about is the you can see this shoulder. The ball and socket joint is also called shoulder joint. Hinge joint is also called elbow joint. Pivot joint, which is also called the neck joint. This one is griddle joint, which is also called the carpus joint. Saddle joint, which is also called the thumb joint. So with this, students, I hope you love this session, and this session has a great extent of learning, enhancing your learning process. With this, take care, students. Bye bye. Lots of love and blessings to you from your Deepak sir. Bye bye. Take care, students.